he should still be in high school right now, because he skipped his senior year. But he's shown a lot of progression in the offense, and he has an it factor that's very high. And Riley Trujillo is he's been here since January, and his skill set is exactly what we want. He can run, he can throw, and the biggest thing is that we got a quarterback room that I'm very excited about, and to get them all ready to play. And obviously we'll figure out the depth chart exactly how we're going to do it as we these guys are all competing, and they're all going to compete all the way to the first game. And it's and I've told them that, and that's what Coach Malzahn has been preaching. And KJ is great in the room. I can't tell you, he asks all the right questions, he answers all the questions. He has the answer sometimes before I can even finish the question. So you got a senior who's a leader that's there, and you got a lot of quarterbacks that I'm very excited about the run.
Let me ask this about, because we were talking to Coach Gus earlier, and it seems he's kind of morphing his role again, getting more hands-on. How does that make your job different in kind of the day-to-day?
Well, the thing, Coach Malzahn has been an unbelievable offensive coach and a great quarterback coach. He's handled, obviously, had Cam Newton, and so he also is the head coach, so he's got to do a lot of head coaching things, and I'm right there with him. He's a lot of times in my meetings, and he's running the offense. He's doing everything. He's explaining the reads. He's explaining everything. Then when he needs to leave, I detail it just as much, and I repeat everything that he says out of his mouth and exactly how he wants it. And then I also, I go with the quarterbacks, and there's the mental part of the game. And every quarterback's different, how they handle, negative situations and all those things that come about in playing the quarterback. And you can't be too high and you can't be too low, and you've got to be your mentality has got to be where it's solid and firm. And again, that's what I work on constantly with these guys. When you get in the game, what are you going to do? Okay, and then be able to go execute the offense.
Last question for me, and I'm just curious because you've been here for a bit, had some coaching games under your belt here. Is there a favorite moment you have here, be it on, off the field, whatever? What's your favorite UCF moment here coaching?
Oh, I mean, there's obviously the moments on the field back in the day when we played in the Citrus Bowl, and building this program and where we were, and the facilities that we were in, which the carpet wasn't even the same color, and the whole building and the whole deal. They're over at Wayne Dench, and to see where we are now is very exciting. And obviously, as a coach, we want to go win a Big 12 championship. And last year we had some close games that we should have won. And like I said, we have a chip on our shoulder right now, and that chip on our shoulder is to go finish the right way, one game at a time. And I'm excited, and the staff is very, very close, and the bonding of our players is huge right now. And we do have a lot of transfers and different good guys that came in, but they have done a great job, and I truly believe they really like each other, and that's huge in where we are right now. That's where my head is right now. I'm focused on a daily basis, and it's like Groundhog Day around here, so we do the same thing over and over and over, but you gotta through the madness and everything that's going on with that, be excited about building a program on a daily basis, and that's what we're doing.
How does it feel to have Sean Beckton back here coming as an analyst, huh?
Yeah, when Coach announced it, Sean was sitting behind me. I didn't even know he was in the room. And he was just excited to have Sean Beckton here, and I went, Sean's here? I'm like, where is he? And then I turn around, and there's Sean, look right there, and I was like, but yeah. So when I was a freshman, he was a senior, and so we got to be on the same team together. And then obviously he came back and coached and got to coach with me through all the games we played. He's won 4 championships as a coach, and it's so blessed to have him here.
So Sean is going to do the same thing, like when you came in here, worked with the defense?
Yes, in 21, he's going to be the defensive analyst, and he's going to do that role and help Ted Ruth, and like I did with Travis Williams when I was here. And I put him, I told him the ropes, and this is what I did, exactly what I did, and how the defense, it helped the defense, and he's excited about it, and he's excited about the role. But it's so good to just see him walking around the building. And
I actually saw him over there in the other building just about an hour ago, and he said that you're really mentoring him big.
Yeah. Well, Sean's also has a lot of experience coaching. He's got a lot of wisdom and knowledge, and he's feeling out the ropes and everything because he just got here, but he's going to do a great job. I know he is.
My last question, they honored the 94 men's basketball team against Iowa State Pass during the basketball season. What was it like to be around those guys and Kirk being back, Kirk Sparrow being back on campus?
It was awesome. We had a get-together the night before, and to be able to see all those guys, and to all the stories and some guys are bigger than what they used to be, and they can't run the court like they used to, but it was awesome to be able to see them and what was accomplished, and I was just blessed to be a part of it, and seeing Coach Sparrow and him coming back, and really the warm welcome that he got, and he just felt overwhelmed too with emotions and everything that's with his whole career. And he says he's coming back. He says he's coming to a football game this year, and he's going to come back. So it was great to be a part of that, and great to see all the guys. It was awesome.
Darin, I got it. You've obviously, the way that the college football has changed, a lot of teams are leaning heavily on transfers coming in at quarterback. How difficult is it now to coach a freshman, to keep them happy and satisfied and not wanting to jump in the portal and everything? How difficult is that too?
It's because I've been doing it for a long time, and through all this, back in the day when guys used to grad transfer, and you used to have to deal with that too. But also the fact that in recruiting, you think you have a senior. The ideal situation is to get one every year and continue to develop them, and then if you happen to get a sophomore that's better than the junior and senior, then he jumps up, and then you have to manage the roster. And I've been doing it my whole career. Coach Malzahn's been doing it his whole career. I played true freshman. I played Tyler Bray. He's played Bo Nix at Auburn, and so it doesn't feel any different to me. It's just, the biggest thing is you really want to get them in January to really prepare them. We got Jakari Brown, obviously, after the spring, and got him, and I'm preparing him, but he's hungry and he's doing really, really well, and that's part of it too.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't feel a whole lot different, but the quarterbacks' rooms are changing drastically all over the country from year to year. Where it used to be one guy coming in, now it's 1 to 2 to 3 some guys coming in. And you look at our quarterback room last year and who's back from this year, and really it's just Dylan Risk when you really look at it. So that's the difference, is that the quarterback room is changing on a yearly basis, and you coach them, and then you develop your depth chart, and you go from there. And like I said, we got to get everybody ready to play based on you never know what's going to happen during the season.
You got 2 freshmen in this quarterback room. I mean, what's the importance? I mean, Riley came in, I think, during the January, during early World League. How important is it for to get these guys ready to go, him and EJ, and getting them ready to kind of understand, and maybe to also understand that this year maybe it'll be a learning experience so much so as it will be maybe in the future.
Yeah, and we handle every kid differently based on the learning curve and how they take the offense and how they mature as far as freshmen go. And we've only had 3 practices so far, but EJ Colson has really, he's really, you can just see the energy with him, but he's a freshman, and so we're going to build those guys, and Riley the same way, and we're going to build those guys and continue to develop them. I'd say, listen, guys, as a quarterback off the field, you got to do stuff off the field too, and you got to go study in the film room. The guy that works the hardest is, and it's the same thing when I played here. I mean, I had 5 quarterbacks ahead of me when I got here, and I thought I was going to walk in and be the guy, and I was going to be the man, and I was going to be the star quarterback. That's how I was recruited. And then the next thing you know, I'm realizing, man, this is going to take a lot of work. And I ended up redshirting. I redshirted, but I worked my tail off. And then when I finally got my opportunity, my redshirt freshman year, I went in there the 3rd game of the year, and really nobody took another snap after that. After I got playing, I did get injured my freshman year that during that season and separated my left shoulder, but then came back and was finished being the starter. And there was a lot of good quarterbacks that I ended up moving ahead of. but I worked hard. And I tell them all, I said, you control your own destiny. You got to go work. You got to go learn the offense. You got to learn defenses. The faster you do that, the quicker you will get on the field. And then the success you have on the field is based on your confidence in what you do. And you've got to go work off the field as much as possible, because we can only work with you. There's certain hours and certain time frame that we can do that. So, and they're all working hard today, and I'm excited about the room.
Dylan obviously had a year under his belt from last year. Is you like the growth that he's had, to get to this point going into this camp? I mean,
yeah, and Dylan did a good job last year. I mean, he was a snap away when John Rice went down and Timmy's the starter. I mean, Dylan was one snap away from playing, and he was preparing to play, and then it worked out. John Rice came back, and the whole situation and how the season ended, but he did a good job preparing, and he's done a good job this spring. He's done a good job in the off season, and he is a different quarterback than what he was last year. He's better than where he was last year. So the room is constantly upgrading, and we're pushing ourselves. And I'm excited where Jakari Brown is, and him coming in, and he is in a little bit more of a learning curve because he hasn't had those snaps yet. And we're getting them those snaps right now, and you see the progression from practice 1 to practice 3, which I've seen a progression of him getting more and more comfortable, and that's what needs to happen.
do you look at I know KJ's obviously going to be the starter, but do you look at the rest of the depth chart as something that's going to be ever changing through the next couple of weeks?
It's definitely going to be competition there for sure, and we're going to have multiple scrimmages that they're going to go out and they're going to, when the lights come on, you got to go perform, and that's who we decide that goes in the game next, and we base it on, and every quarterback's different, has different qualities, and we're going to use them what their qualities are. And Coach Malzahn does an unbelievable job with that, of knowing. He's done that all through his career, and he's, he played, Cam Newton way different than he did Bo Nix, and so we'll figure that out, what we need to do, and what's the best thing and the best role of those players, and when they're supposed to go in the game.
Have you seen anyone like KJ? I mean, a player, that you've coached with or played against? Anyone maybe has that same kind of build?
I didn't play or coach him, but Dante Culpepper has. There's some similarities. There are, and the thing that he does that's and it's shown up over and over is him being able to create. And because he's not been live in all those situations, you don't get to really see it, but you feel it, and like this guy can go create, and we call him down with guys touching him, but let me tell you what, he wasn't down. But we call him down, and we do whatever coach says, and when we do what the defense says. But the bottom line is that he brings a lot to the table as far as that goes, and that's what he did at Arkansas. That was so good, is that he created. But the other thing too is that he can throw a deep ball as good as any quarterback I've coached. There's no doubt about that, and we're going to keep progressing him in our offense, exactly what coach wants to do, and he said he's as close as he's had to Cam Newton, and when you watch Cam Newton's film and you watch him, it's very similar. There's a lot of similarities. So we've only had 3 practices, but we're going to continue to build this on a daily basis.
Thanks, Darin. I appreciate you.
Coach, in the situation of the microphone and the helmet now?
Yeah, so basically what happens is that once the play is over and you go on the mic, your helmet turns on, and then you've got 25 seconds on the play clock. At 15 seconds, the helmet will turn off.
Who's doing that?
We're able to talk through a walkie-talkie directly.
But you're saying that's the legal way it has to happen?
That's the communication process.
Okay.
Meaning that we have a way to communicate to the quarterback, and Coach Malzahn can talk to him. Whoever is talking to him, we can talk to him for 25 seconds, and then at 15 seconds left to go, the mic it turns off automatically. So so we can communicate with the quarterback. So that's an exciting piece that's new this year, and the NFL's had it for a while. And,
so we did it in spring practice?
We did in the spring, and
so we're all comfortable with it?
We've been doing it these first 3 practices, and Coach Harris has talked to him, through the helmet, and giving him play call, and then we can also tell him some different things. And Coach Malzahn's excited about being able to talk to the quarterbacks about the situation during the game and all that kind of stuff. So, and we'll just continue to master it as we go through this.
Use of the tablets, though, that's going to be really beneficial to be able to make adjustments on the fly, right?
Yeah, well, so the only thing we've had in the past is replay in the booth, and you can kind of see things quickly, and it's also a TV copy most of the time, so you don't get to see necessarily the whole offense and the coverages and everything that's happening. You really, all you do is just see what the TV is showing you, and you can make assumptions on what the coverage is in different fronts and different blitzes and who made mistakes. And now we can go to the sideline and literally be able to scroll the entire series and go through it and look at everything that we just saw. I mean, we just did it, and now we can make corrections and we can make adjustments in game plan so much easier, and being able to forecast what we're going to call the next series, what coach is going to call, and what we're thinking and where we're going versus guessing in the past where we've had to say, this is what we think happened. And you really don't know until you watch the film after the game kind of what really happened, what the mistake was, why. Sometimes you cancel plays because, hey, this isn't working, we're not going to run it again, when it's just one guy, the left guard went the wrong way or something crazy that happened. So we're able to identify what's going on, and also we're going to be able to identify defenses quicker too. So we'll be able to go, okay, this is what they're doing now, which is what we planned for this, we planned for cover 4, we planned for all these things. This is what they're doing to us this game, and be able to make adjustments very quickly.
Do you like being up in the booth or down on the field? Which is your favorite?
I like both. So I'm good. Up in the booth, you get more of a visualization of everything that's going, and then when you're on the field, you feel the vibe of the game, you feel the players, you feel what's going on, and you can, I like it both.
Just